plays in suburban Long Island is going to be different from what plays in Southwest Washington. Two, they all had a backbone and were willing to go against the party on things like immigration, on things like, what they see as maybe onerous government regulation. And three, they didn't make their campaigns too much about Trump. They had their own thing. They were in touch with their voters and could go out and, Jared Golden could talk to fishermen about issues. Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez could talk about right to repair. Tom Suozzi, talked a lot about the border because, with Governor Abbott shipping all these migrants up here, places like Long Island have become, their own border states. And so I think you really got to, candidate quality matters. Being willing to break with the party matters, meeting voters where they are matters. And so there's no one size fits all thing. And with the Senate candidates who won, I would say same thing. They had interesting profiles. They were willing to break with party orthodoxy on certain issues, and they met voters where they are.
So would you recommend then, when we talk about the Democratic brand, that's like this amorphous thing. And so what would be, I guess, a practical solution moving forward so that it doesn't feel like we just have to keep running against Democrats? Like, what would you say if you had every single person in a room right now and, in the Democratic Party, from strategists to the politicians themselves to the candidates themselves, what would you say to them so that it doesn't feel like Democrats, again, to my earlier point, have to constantly run against not only their Republican opponents, but also this amorphous blob that is the Democratic brand? Like, we shouldn't have two opponents in every election cycle.